All right, folks, it's been too long, but I'm back with the eye in the sky for War of Rights. I'm here for a number of reasons. One, we finally got the numbers for me to make it feel like it was worth it. So we have now a test 500-man server. We have over 320 that are actually on it at the beginning of this match. Last round was great. This is Crecy's Cornfield. CSA is on the attack. We're starting back here with the Union. Point of contention is right there. This is one I've actually played once or twice. In first person, so I have an idea of how it works. Over here in the Union battery, it's cool. Basically, the right side, the Union right, CSA left, is open. The left side is this Cornfield. I don't know. I hate defending the backside of those, but it's not my problem. For officers, last round I understood. I knew more of them than I know now, but I haven't done much of this in the last 4 or 5 months, so maybe there's been a rotation. Let's see. I think we have most of our officers unmuted, and we'll try to keep it that way. But yeah, last round I definitely knew more of these officers, but that's not what we have now. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna hop in. Looks like the CSA, or at least part of it, is gonna. So is this 50-50 or is this? No, this is 3 infantry groups. All right, so then. We must have... Whoa. What is going on? We also have the ballistics update. We have, yeah, we have some devs on the server. There's actually several. Several, by several I mean 3, which is several to me. But looks like the CSA is opting to go through the corn, and that should at least give them a bit of the element of the surprise when they appear. Union's going for that skirmish line. The worst part of War of Rights. Don't fight in a skirmish line. It doesn't matter that it's optimal. It doesn't look good. But anyways, yeah, we have 500-man servers. Last round we got up to 360, 370 or so, and so it was pretty nice. Very nice. There's a little bit of lag at the beginning of this one, but it hasn't been terrible. And it looks like the CSA wants to keep it a warm skirmish, and they're doing okay so far. One unit electing to stand and shoot. I thought the other was going to go for these rocks. I thought the CSA could get them. Though once you get them, it's not clear what the prize is, because you still have and maybe you're out of bounds. You have a long way to go before you get to anything that's important. The point of contention is way back there. Artillery is too far off to be able to shoot it profitably. So, yeah, that's fine. But generally, as the attackers, and the CSA is attacking here, this is exactly what you want to do. I'm a little surprised the Union didn't use that defilade a bit more. And maybe that's where they're falling back to. You can see it better when you're at the...
Yeah, about fucking time. I got my Amazon package.
You heard the man. Yeah, that defilade there, if you know where to kneel, and then you only rise to fire, you can really limit the number of hits that you're going to feel as they come in. Over here on the Union left, the CSA right, it looks like this is what the CSA have opted for. I don't know why they had to go back and regroup in the woods, but they did. If the Union's doing their math correctly, and I don't know why they wouldn't be, they ought to be able to figure out that the CSA is going to show up here, and it looks like they're largely going to be unopposed unless I'm missing something, and I don't think I'm missing that. And the CSA appears to have just stood their ground in shooting. The Union has elected to go to the fence. Remember, the Italian flag here is going to be fighting for the Union. I guess they were just fighting for, or looking for the rest of the CSA, and they thought that they were up here. They are, in fact, not, and for reasons, the CSA is falling back, reasons only known to their officers. All right, the other 2 companies, right? There were 2 flags. All right, we have 2 officers here. So it's pretty much 2 and 2. You go that way, and we'll go this way. And the CSA has themselves an interesting point. They're between much of the Union and the point of contention. They're not capping. That's natural decay. And the Union has to decide what to do. I guess the CSA doesn't want to go for an early cap. And having played these are on the... I was going to say skirmish camp, that's definitely not it. But the... basically drill camp maps. I don't know what the metas are. It looks like the Union's going to come in here, and they're going to try to knock the CSA out of these rocks. That is 2 companies, though, against 2 companies. And so, we'll see how it goes. But we have improved ballistics. This Union charge has gone unexpectedly well. Not because the Union can't charge, but because the CSA had cover, and it seems like the Union just did not care. Oh, but the CSA got a wipe up top, and they're now coming down. I think I'm beginning to see what's going on here. We got 4 stars. I don't know how many are CSA and Union. I thought it was 2 and 2. Union doesn't know that they have a flag down. Maybe some of the laggards will figure it out. CSA is going to go in for some free tickets in the Union artillery, which did not realize the best course of action when outnumbered is to run. Run away. Run away. Shoot and then run away if you can, but if not, don't worry about it. CSA made a big mistake here in losing 2 of their flags pretty far away, because that means that those units cannot spawn until they get those flags back. And so they're going to have to rely either on their friendlies to very quickly wipe the Union and get those flags up, or the CSA is going to be at an attrition disadvantage because you're going to have 2 flags in action on attack versus 4 flags in action on defense. And again, this is why as Union artillery you would run away so that you could, granted it's a large no man's land, but you could always threaten to come back to the guns and shoot them in the back of the CSA who are now embedded in the fence. But this is actually a very good position for the Union. Yeah, Union flag goes down only temporarily, but you got 3 of them up. CSA, they only have, okay, now they have 2 out of their 4 flags up. That's good. You have this 4th Union flag that's going to try to go down. It's not quite an L, right? But it's getting pretty close to that. 3 on the long side, 1 on the short side. Artillery looks like it's also remanning its guns. The artillery officer is going for some very ambitious shooting here with a pistol. Maybe it's not as bad. I mean, if you're shooting into a clump, okay, dying out of line probably wasn't worth it. But yeah, now that the Union, this is the short side of the L, they're going to push their way up. I don't know if they had to do that. Right? Yeah, you have the other side. They're going to be on an attrition disadvantage. Yeah, and you go down first. I think standing and shooting into the fat part of that line, because the CSA was not well tucked away into that fence, might have been a little bit better and frozen the CSA, who felt that they can't come out of the fence. They'd have to stay in it while they're losing on reinforcements. We had the CSA push up, and it looks like they're now getting charged or countercharged, however it is, and the CSA is running back to the fence. But somehow the Union allowed the CSA to get that flag back long before it should have responded. So that was suboptimal, to say the least. But yeah, this is actually a pretty good attack. It's actually a very good attack for the CSA. They have the Union about a third of the way through engaged, 34 minutes, and they are just forcing the Union to come to them and cutting their tickets down. And so we can see the Union's not really together. I mean, you have 2 flags down here who are shooting at, yeah, I know there's a group up there, but you're, I mean, what are the chances, right? I guess some of you who are out here can see what's going on. The rest, I'm not too sure that you really want to be there. But there they are, nonetheless. So you see over here, they got 3 flags in action. It looks sparsely populated, but because they have 3 flags in action, they're likely going to build up their numbers here over the long term, and Union doesn't seem to be pressing them. And so it's odd. You have 3 flags up here. I think, yeah, you got 3 down there, 3 Union ones down there, and so it feels a little mixed-match because you also have 2 CSA officers there, and I think the explanation is one of their flags needs to get back to them.
I'm gonna witness.
Last round, again, we had even artillery, and so this time for CSA, it's 14 in artillery versus 13 in artillery. Is that right? Yeah. So it's again, once again, even. It's interesting how that works out, but anyways. Yeah, CSA cannot be too displeased as long as they don't end up getting too aggressive, losing their flags, and taking themselves out of action. They should be able to keep up steady pressure. It looks like they're largely just conceding. I think they're playing for cap recap at this point. It looks like they've called almost everybody back, and they're going to put the CSA in the position of, well, you got to come cap our point. We're going to try to get our tickets back. If you're the CSA, you can't really fight it usually because the defenders can typically go further than you can, and so if they want to fall back forever and their men listen to them, they'll be able to. You kind of just got to fight it. They would do well, I think, to embed themselves as well as can be done in the rocks behind this point and at least make it bloody once the Union recaps, and then keep their flags up. Right? If those things happen, you'll be okay. Here the Union already, if they stay and fight, they're largely they're hurting their team, and if they get kills on the way in. If they end up playing cap recap, none of it matters as long as the Union recaps once, because then they got to play with the attackers' tickets, and it's fine. But if you don't know if that's going to happen, you should always play conservatively. Here the Union appears to, I guess mostly now they're just shooting into CSA, but you don't know that. You don't know that there's no friendlies. So the Union now is pressing up, and I'm not sure what the plan is here. They must think that there's some sort of chicanery on the Union side. There really isn't. They've just realized that they've bled too much too fast. They pretty much have to cap recap. They're down a third, at least a third, if not half a morale stage with 30 minutes left. And so if this continues on, they're just going to end up going breaking too early. But this is okay. I mean, if you're going to slowly work your way into and consolidate your position around point before you cap, then you can really try to make it bloody. Should the Union play to recap, you can see you got one Union line back there near the cabin. Looks like two over there. And there was a third over here. So the CSA should be able to tell from the slackening fire that the Union's fallen back, and that it is on them to come up and make something about it. If you embed yourself in here, for sure you can use the hard cover of the artillery.
Ceasefire, take cover, everybody take cover.
You shoot anything that's in those fences, but it doesn't look like, other than maybe a few who aren't.
You may crouch behind the caisson, you may crouch.
Paying attention. There aren't that many great shots again standing there to shoot and then dying out of line as the defender is completely irrelevant. So. Well, it's not irrelevant, it's bad. But Union has brought back, man, they have a lot of guns for this map. They either brought back, or I should say, maybe they rolled up these guns from elsewhere. I don't know, the caissons are in the road, so it looks to me like they probably rolled them back, but maybe they, oh no, they came, is this a Union group back here? Oh man. Yeah. Alright, there's a name I recognize. The group that has taken charge of one of the companies. And so he'll play it as well as it probably can be played. And you can see the rest of the Union also realizing cap recap is the way back in, and the CSA has accepted it. And the CSA has moved into a pretty good position to be able to withstand the counterattack. It's still 2 and 2, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. I think it's 2 on the left. What is this? Is this 3 on the left? I guess it's 3 on the left, and then just 1 on cap. And my guess is they're going to wait for the Union to try to push up through that open field and then cut them down. These guys here are just running tickets out for the team. They're absolutely not helping at all. But that's what happens when you're new. You do things like this. So. This Union group, pretty well sheltered by the cabin. I don't know if they have anybody. I thought I saw some smoke there. Maybe not. They come off to the side. So now, yeah, we do have CSA groups over here. interesting that they feel they have to charge rather than waiting for the Union to come to them. Because with that, Union is on the clock. I certainly understand the move through the corn. The move through the open, I guess they got shade, and so that helps. This is an isolated group. They were well protected by the cabin from direct fire, but if you're just going to sit there, you're going to get 2v1. And then the question is, can they get out? I think those groups, they want to move. Now that CSA group is too far away to really matter. Even with the improved ballistics, you'd want to be up further to cut them down earlier. But maybe they're supposed to be the door that swings shut. But defending this way should mean, right, that the CSA now has... Oh, okay, so you had a Union group come through here, and, well, you're going to have some out of lines at the end. Oh, the flag's going to go down, so that's exactly what you don't want as the CSA. And now the rest of that CSA group is pulling out. So while you knock down one at first, the Union's going to get that flag back up, and they're going to push you off, and now you have 4 flags in play as the defenders against 3 for the attackers. Did the CSA somehow get that flag out? I don't think so. I think I'm spectating as the Union. All right, and yeah, we see the CSA lose another flag here. No, I guess the CSA did get their flag out somehow, some way there, because I'm seeing these down CSA flags, of which there's only one over here. Okay, they're getting the one out over here. Oogie, all right. So I do know some names, and I'm not bad out of it. And I'm guessing these are both what, CSA arty officers. That's probably what that is. Probably too slow to get that artillery fixed. This CSA group is sending into the flank of that Union group, which seems unaware that they're being charged on the side, but I guess they're just going to come up and try to shoot them in the back, come down. I don't know. I mean, this is all beyond it. You guys should not be charging in that. You should have a detachment taking that flag that away. But yeah, you can stand there and die. Then you'll be happy to take your tickets and your flag. And it's going to get recapped. This is still an okay position for the CSA, except that they've managed to lose, what is that, all their flags? One. No, I guess some of those were Union flags over there. All right, that makes sense. So they've only lost 2 flags. You see one up there, and we'll assume that the other one is up as well. Still not the position you want to be in. What is going on with these flags? The Union is just not camping these flags. That's what it is. And you have folks. Oh well, this guy's gonna die to line. But yeah, when you hey guys, quick question. All right. Yeah, I mean, when you have downed enemy flags that are that in the open, well, I guess when the enemy runs them into the middle of your line, you're okay. But yeah, detach a small group of experienced people to camp that, who know when to fight and kill the Rambos trying to recover it, and know when to pull back in the face of insurmountable odds. Again, here, keeping that flag down would take that company out of the fight. For all intents and purposes, they could charge, they could YOLO, and then they could come back from spawn. It is such a hardship on attacker, well, on everybody, but particularly on attackers who usually have further to go from spawn and want to keep up the pressure, that it is well worth the investment, particularly when you have, right, 324 on each side. You don't need a huge group. It's just a small number of people who understand the Rambo recovery efforts and can thwart those. All right, we got some action over here. They appeared closer than they are. This is not a winning skirmish for the defenders, but they might be able to drag down some time. But at 26 minutes and taking losses, this is still a good position for the attackers, provided that they get most of their flags up and going soon. The Union seems pretty willing to offer. There you go. That's the right idea. Stall for time. Don't take disadvantage shootouts. And we can still see that half the CSA. That's a big group moving out of spawn. If you can just see over that hill. And so the Union is here. the CSA is getting here. I'm a little surprised. Wow, that's a full pullback this early. I'm not even going to make the CSA pay a price on the way in. This over here I get, this is, it just looks good, but yeah, and those CSA guys are, I don't know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. They're bleeding tickets unnecessarily. You can see the wider movement out here. I don't want to miss what's going on the far side, but we got some blobs, and that's why I'm here. I'm all for the blobs. I don't want to cast games with 200 people on. We want 300, 400. We have 500-man test servers. It's crazy. Again, this will be okay for a while, but here, I don't know how much defilade you have. Not that much. And you're on the down end of it. But the CSA is nicely silhouetted there against the top, so you can't complain too much. But I think that might be long-term losing investment. But you put some time into that. And that's certainly worth it, but you don't want... Oh, okay, and they have a third company supporting them. I was wondering if the CSO... But no, they're going to get chewed up. If these guys realize who's out here and how close they are, they're going to take sick infilade fire. And you can see that company is getting smaller, but... Certainly it's the Union with 3 flags in action against 1. Okay, a second one there. Yeah, this group here, I get what they're trying to do, but they are going to end up losing tickets. They may or may not lose their flag. I don't know that this Union group understands what's going on the left. Somebody from that group has to call out what just happened on the left. But the CSA seems oblivious. Oh. The officer going for the flag? No, okay. Somebody else who understands the importance of flags, but... That is this Union group is guarding the left, I think, against nothing. But you don't know that. Yeah, that's right. So the Union has a decent concave if the CSA wants to push up into it. CSA probably do better to just push down the line, push down the fence line, and just trade 50-50 if they can. The Union has bled valuable time off the clock here, about 5 minutes or so. They've lost half the morale stage, and so in the end, it's still not sustainable unless they're able to plink off more from the CSA than they lose. This is this is a CSA girl. I was gonna say, if that's the Union that has pushed up this far, they've probably put themselves in a good position to put infilade fire on the group in the shrubs, but I think they're actually just putting flanking fire into that Union group there. And now that group may be realizing that 2v1 is not where they want to be. They want to go for the concentration.
On this line and hold, on this line and hold.
We have an officer duel? Oh, well. I thought the ballistics were fixed. What is this? But anyhow. Wow. Well. Marksmanship saves lives. It's, gents, this is not... Oh, okay, it's the Union. It's not worth trying to stand up against that. And the Union decides they've done what they want to do, but now they're about to go breaking the 21 minutes. The CSA is slightly ahead in tickets, but remember, they all kind of started even, high in taking losses. And so this is just the attrition advantage that attackers have if you're going to try to stand up. They got a nice, healthy blob, but I still only see one CSA flag over here. So apparently they want to go for the cutoff here. I don't think the numbers are there. And the Union elects for a hot shootout. What's going on their backside? Their backside defense has... Oh, they have to come to the point because it was getting capped and they went breaking, but... And now the Union is falling back while the CSA opts to flank it, and I guess they're either going to try to probably push through the artillery, try to bleed as many tickets as they can. Union has an opportunity to cut off reinforcement, or cut off the escape path and then down those 2 flags, but the CSA still hasn't gone breaking, and the Union is about a quarter of the way through breaking. So it's going to be rough. This group here has to move if they can. They might need to come to the aid of the group over here who's trying to push this off. And if they fail to push them off, and it looks like they are absolutely going to fail to push them off, now the Union just has to take a rough shootout. It is breaking v breaking. It's still close enough that I guess if the Union can keep enough of the CSA flags down, and I don't know that currently they have any down, they might be able to concentrate against the dispersed forces, but it looks like if we continue at the pace we're going, the Union's going to hit last stand well before the timer runs out. That was not the case last round. It was, I believe that was a CSA defense. It was very close, but we now have part of the CSA breaking off. They look like they're going to go for this snake fence, and then my guess is probably push up. And from there, you can secure the backside of point against any press from the woods. You can also make it harder to defend down here, which is now where the Union is going.
Stop, wait, reloading, hit.
So that's what's going on there. This CSA group is looking happy to sit in the Union artillery. Union are forced to hang out near point, so I'm guessing that's what those 2 companies are doing. You have 2 Union flags in action against 1 CSA one. That hasn't deterred the CSA so far. Certainly hasn't stopped them. We'll see. We'll see if all that shooting was enough to keep the CSA out. Union is getting bodies, but several of those guys are artillerymen, and not that the oversized cotton swabs can't do anything. They're less preferable to the pointy sticks that can also shoot stuff. Now we have the Union, I guess, countercharging into the CSA group up here, trying to knock them off so that they can't support or make moves based on what happened down here. But it looks like the CSA attack is petering out. If they know what to do, they got to turn around and turn back the way they came, build up their numbers, and then they can do this again. There's some benefit to forcing the Union to group up to defend against this, but you got to know when the game is up. It looks like they do, and they're making the right call. Over here, this group is looking real. Yeah, this group is looking real thin. I don't know. Yep. Okay, you're gonna fight him. Okay, so it looks like the CSA will lose a flag over there. They'll possibly get this one out. And up here, we have 2 CS. Is this CSA artillery or infantry? This is artillery. They're bringing in maybe that late game canister gun, and they look like they're just going to embed themselves in the point. Union's about to go last stand. I think this is all she wrote. Even down the 1 flag, I think enough CSA will be able to get in over there. The Union are going to have to come in to stop this. The one danger, but I don't think it's a real danger, is that the CSA gets too passive and allows too much time to get burned off that clock. Looks like now some are pushing up, I would guess, to... Yeah, okay, so they're going to push up to begin to cap and force the Union to come up and go to last stand while they try to push the CSA off the point. They may succeed in that, but then they'll be in last stand with a lot of time left on. Yeah, the danger... I think the only way the CSA loses is by getting too passive here. And they've had a pretty good tempo. In the scrub here, it's kind of hard to get really good cinematic shots. Even believe it or not, I'm actually trying to move around less because I recall doing this in the past. The more I move around when YouTube uploads it, it is just very, very grainy when I'm moving, and then after YouTube's compression, it's just, it don't look good as good as it does now. It looks quite good right now. So I guess the CSA got tired of waiting. They just wanted to make sure the Union went to last stand. And that has certainly happened. I don't think that they need to take their flags into this one. I think you just need to go in, make sure they win last stand. They win last stand in the shooting, and now you just need to get those flags out. Because the Union's probably going to win the first wave. The point is that they don't win the last wave. All right, and almost as if they could hear, Union is kind of pushing. They know they cannot take a long-term hot engagement. Usually as defenders, you can take a lot of short-term hot engagements that you win, but you don't want to be taking hot engagements and shooting like that over long-term as defenders, unless you are significantly advantaged by terrain. Alright, so they'll get one of their flags out. Now the two that are down back here, are they both CSA ones, or is that the Union just knowing that they can't respawn? I'll assume that's another Union knows that they can't respawn. Yes, I think that one's a CSA one. And now, yeah. That's not, that is a CSA one. So the CSA is down to 2 flags that are up. Looks like they're going to send some more folks up into the side here. And all them Union guys are not coming back. Officers out of ammo there. And with quite a bit of time left on the clock, CSA is, I don't know. I guess I was going to say it looks like CSA is about to go final push. So we lost a lot of time off the clock. But I think the Union's got to be just about empty when it comes to reinforcements. I assume there's a giant spawn wave. Yeah, that is a massive spawn wave. Flags are not. Oh, that's it. Did the Union just bleed out in the battle? It looked like they had several guys standing around. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, we got the result that it looked like they were. So let's see. Up to this point, casualties are too close, and the Union have too many not in formation deaths. Granted, it's not a battlefield that gives you a ton of defense as the, well, defenders. But you gotta try to do the best you can, and that's not gonna cut it. You're basically even on out of lines and skirmishing. And you took more casualties overall. I understand that a lot of that happens at the end when it gets chaotic and your numbers get low, but it was pretty close all along. And so that probably had to be a little bit cleaner of a defense, but the Union did get the CSA attackers into final push. They just didn't have the tickets to bleed them through that timer. So, yeah, well done by tough teams. I was gonna say by both teams. I've played it as the defenders for sure, and I think as the attackers as well. And it seems like a tough chore for the defenders, particularly given that a third of the map is largely this cornfield where the attackers just have the element of surprise. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed this one. I've enjoyed getting back in and casting these games. I was just waiting for bigger pops, and we have them on the servers right now, and I don't know that we'll get to 500, but 350 is certainly something I'll take.